one of the 4T digital conferences I attended, Jeremy Hyler cited how Snapchat behind text messaging is the second most used medium by secondary education students.
One of the unique aspects that Snapchat offers is that it has a time limit. Students can only have 10 seconds, and so everything that gets put into that video must have value. Another unique thing that it does is it has filters.
A certain filter could best portray a character that we're reading in class, and the students would have to explain why, and maybe even take a Snapchat selfie of themselves with the filter on there acting like that character.
One of the unique aspects about an audio essay is it provides different things that other forms don't offer. For instance, students can tell a lot more about what a teacher is saying by hearing the implications of their voice than just reading it on a piece of paper. Audio essays also provide a great way for students to really talk about and think through their thoughts. By talking about a certain issue, they're going to have a lot deeper understanding when they think about it through their own kind of vocabulary rather than just reading like a scholarly article where they might be a little confused.
Audio essays are really cool too, not just in terms of thinking about essays in terms of students, but for us as pre-service teachers. One thing that we've thought about as far as assessment in the classroom is not just rubrics of how we're going to assess, but the way that we're going to communicate the assessment back to the students. So with an audio essay, I could record myself speaking through their essays so they could hear my thought processes and hear what I'm thinking with their paper so that it feels personal. We were talking about when Dr. Cook spoke through our essays and we received our grade through an audio essay. It felt more personal. We felt like we got deeper insight into what he was thinking, and we would love to be able to provide that for our students too, through maybe even a weekly podcast reviewing material for the week, or just speaking through grades and speaking. Twitter is a great mode of digital literacy to use in the classroom, mainly because of how accessible it is to all students, who most of them have smartphones.
One example of this has been used in our own classroom. Through our own classroom, we've been able to share a common hashtag and share different articles related to English, to education, or even English education with fellow students. Through doing this, we can learn more information from other students as well as share it, so it provides a great partnership.
Yeah, that's something Anna and I have talked about too, is that Twitter is not only a great place to share information and articles, but a good place for us to absorb things as well, whether it's an article shared from your teacher or maybe even one shared to you by a fellow classmate. And we thought that Twitter gives students who are quieter in the classroom a place to have discourse still, because they may not have the courage to speak up and voice their opinion in class, but through having a Twitter hashtag, they're still able to share their voice and their thoughts on things through typing it on Twitter and still being able to share with their classmates. Blogs are personally one of my favorite ongoing assignments that we've had in this course, and I think it's really important for us to think about blogging with our students in terms of the diversity we're going to have in our classroom. I think blogs are a really cool place for students to go back to and reflect, and through reading their reflection, you get to see the lens and the perspective of how they're viewing things in class. And in understanding the lenses that they're viewing things in class, or how they're thinking about class discussions, you understand their backgrounds, you understand the diverse experiences that they could have had in life to think about things a certain way.
Blogs also provide a great way for students to still have that typical form of composition, the idea of writing up or typing up some sort of an essay, while still having it be a little bit less formal, while they can still have their own personal thoughts in there. We recently read Day Tripper in class, which is a graphic novel that's recently come out, and it completely shifted our focus on how graphic novels can be used in the classroom. Previously, I thought comic books were kind of just for entertainment or fun, but they definitely have an educational purpose and provide a lot about the composing process.
Yes, not only was Day Tripper challenging and thought-provoking, but when we were tasked to compose our own graphic narrative, we realized how much the composition of graphic novels makes you think so much more deeply about the subject matter, because you're forced to think about perspective and color choice and text bubble shapes and panels and things that we had never thought about before. So you have to think a lot more deeply about what you're composing than if you were just, say, writing an essay on it.
One of the best things about assigning students to create their own graphic novels is it doesn't have to be digital. While there are different websites that you can have students design a graphic novel on, you can also still just draw it with pen and paper and colored pencils. By using this is great for students of different socioeconomic statuses that might not have access to digital technology. Me and Emily both really see the benefits of digital literacies, but we also still really love pen and paper and just traditional composition.
We talked about a quote from Troy Hick's book, Crafting Digital Writing, that really encompasses kind of an overall stance of our thoughts on multimodality in the classroom. If we only use social media to recreate teacher-centered instruction, we're not using its power to our students' advantage. This overall idea of using digital literacy, using social media, using multimodal modes, all revolves around how can we ensure that our students are learning best.
These diverse modes really contribute to how unique and special each student is, and like Emily said, we just want to teach to each individual student and how best to help them succeed.
Woo! Thanks for listening to our stance on multimodality. #AUELA5020.